Well, hello there. I will be going over my 2025-2026 NFL division standings and the playoff seedings. Um, I'm just going to I'm going to go with AFC. I'm going to talk about the division standings and talk about their seeding. Then I'm going to go NFC, do the or the division standings, and then the playoff seedings. All right, let's get started. So, starting off with the AFC East, coming in first, we got the Buffalo Bills. This one's a no-brainer. There's no one really in that division that's close. Right now, there's one team that I think is sort of close, but I don't think they're there yet. They're going to be a number 2 team. But yeah, I don't really feel like I need to explain this. The Bills, they're just gonna win easily, probably by Thanksgiving again. Number 2, the Patriots. Now excuse me, the Patriots are they're definitely making some ground. They're definitely, I'm not saying they're gonna be back to a dynasty, but they're looking pretty decent, and I think they are the closest to the Bills in that division. However, I do think the Bills are still going to win pretty easily. And, I like what Drake May has done for the Patriots, just like all around, I like pretty much how their team is looking moving forward. So, yeah, the Patriots at number 2. At number 3, we got the New York Jets. That's right. Here's the thing. I think Aaron Glenn is going to have a phenomenal first season with the Jets. Well, probably shouldn't say phenomenal, but as opposed to where they were, I think it's going to be a great step up from where they were last season and the years before. I think he's going to, it's going to be a similar Dan Campbell situation, and where there's going to be able to, Sean McVay too, where they were able to flip over and have, well, I guess more Dan Campbell, because I don't think they're going to be a playoff team, but I do think they're going to improve greatly, and that's why I think they'll come in third. So yeah, Aaron Glenn, I think he's going to do a good job, and yeah, that's that. And I don't know why I'm looking. Obviously, the last team is the Dolphins. The Dolphins, I think they've been mediocre lately. Tua, he might be one concussion away from ending his career. I don't know. Seems like if he gets another concussion, he'll have a very big decision to make. So yeah, as far as that goes, I'm not sure about how he will do. And then they got Waddle and they got Tyreek Hill, and Achane is a great running back. Yes, Tua is pretty decent when he plays, but again, the concussion, I don't know if he's gonna get hurt again, if that's gonna affect that. So I just think all around, the Jets are gonna do a little bit better than the Dolphins. I like what Mike McDaniels has done with the Dolphins in the first season. I liked his quirkiness and his little jabs and jokes the first season. The past couple years, he's kind of gotten a little bit arrogant, and not that they're not other arrogant coaches, but I'm just saying I'm not, from where he was the first year, that they're making improvements, and then the second and third year it seemed like, they did make the playoffs 2 years ago, but they lost in the cold. So That's the other thing. They're not getting the cold. So I don't know. I don't see them making uh, a jump up from where they've been. And like I said, the Jets, I think, are going to do a little bit better. So that's the AFC East. Got the Bills, the Patriots, the Jets, and the Dolphins. On to the AFC North. Okay. So, like the AFC East, the AFC North is going to also have the Ravens winning. Like the Bills are going to win the AFC. Like I don't think it's going to be as bad, but I think the Ravens are going to pretty much lock it up pretty easily. However, I think the Steelers and depends on how the Bengals do. Possibly the Bengals. I think they're going to play them better than the Jets or the Dolphins would against the Bills. Patriots could do a little decent. Patriots will be pretty good against the Bills, but so yeah, I think the Ravens are going to win this division pretty easily. With that being said, I do think there might be a slight how do I say this? Not downhill. What am I saying? I can't think of the word. I think they'll move down a little bit just because I don't think, Lamar played at an MVP level. I mean, so did Josh Allen, but Lamar played great. It's hard to redo that again. I'm not saying he can't. He very well could, but I think it's going to be hard for him to have another season like that is what I'm trying to say. So emulate is what the word I'm looking for. Emulate that. So yeah, after Ravens, I got. This one was tough because 2 and 3 are decided by whether or not the Bengals are going to be healthy, be able to protect Joe Burrow, and that defense, which is suspect. Ultimately, I don't trust that Bengals team. So I am going with the Steelers at number 2. We all know the Steelers are going to somehow make the playoffs. They always seem to make the playoffs. They're going to lose the first round. And that's what Mike Tomlin has been doing for the past however many years. So Steelers at number 2. Aaron Rodgers, he's still pretty good. He's not what he once was, but he's still better than the other options that they had. So I just think, Mike Tomlin is going to do his thing, get him to the playoffs. And, their defense is pretty good, though. I mean, they got TJ Watt, obviously, who's a beast. So he's definitely, so they definitely have that going for them. Like I said, the offense is still not sold on the offense, but defense wins championships. It's not going to win a championship, but it's going to win games. So, more than the Bengals. So, who have, no defense. So, speaking of the Bengals, they're going to be number 3. Basically, just what I just said. They are just, their defense is not that good, to say the best way possible. And the offensive line did look a little bit better when they played in preseason, but I don't know how much of it's going to hold up against. I don't know if they were playing against actual starters again, or if they're playing against third or second stringers or whatever, from what I saw in preseason. But yeah, hopefully they can keep Joe Burrow healthy for his sake. They got a monster duo and wide receiver duo and Jamar Chase and T Higgins. Um, so yeah, those are pretty much my reasons I'm going with the Bengals as number 3. Because number 4, if I could put a team at number 4, then the Browns at number 5, I probably would. But number 4 is the Browns. Um, Pretty much self-explanatory, but their QBs. I mean, Joe Flacco. The thing with the Browns is Joe Flacco was definitely a good pickup for them, like a good pickup, and probably should be the starter. And maybe Dylan Gabriel and Shadir Sanders can learn from him. But if you're a Browns fan, you want Joe Flacco to start. Well, maybe you want Joe Flacco to start and give him at least a fighting chance. I'm not sure how their defense is going to do. I think they're pretty good. But I thought I don't know if that was last year they struggled or maybe they didn't. I actually don't remember how the Browns did in defense, but that offense is going to be a huge question mark. Now, not being a Browns fan, and selfishly, I would like to see Dylan Gabriel or Shadir Sanders come in at one point and play with the starters. Dylan Gabriel didn't have that. Well, did he have that in preseason? I know Shadir Sanders didn't really have that opportunity. I mean, he played good his first week. Second week, he didn't play against the Eagles. Third week against the Rams, he looked awful. But the offensive line did not help, and don't think anybody was able to get open, from what I understand. Like I said, it's hard to see on TV. They don't show it all where the receivers are, and so yeah. Anyway, yeah, the Browns. As a non-Browns fan, I would like to see Dylan Gabriel and Shadir Sanders have a chance, and I'm guessing as a Browns fan, depending how the season goes, which probably not that good. I'd like to at least see them come in, maybe for a drive or two, just to see if they're getting crushed or, well, they're not going to be crushing anyone. So, but if they're getting crushed or just like if for some reason Joe Flacco gets hurt, I don't know, but I do understand why Joe Flacco is starting. Obviously, the best option, and maybe sitting behind Joe Flacco and learning is usually. I mean, a lot of QBs used to sit behind QBs their first year, but now we've seen more and more where QBs get thrown into the fire and just play right away, and they get criticized by 1 year. Oh, he's going to be a bust. He had a bad first year, or oh, he had a great first year. He's a great QB. You can't tell by 1 year. You have to see a few years of them actually starting to see whether or not how they're going to do. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, just one example, didn't do good his first year. He also didn't have a great coach in Urban Meyer. Second year, he did a pretty good job. Then he didn't do as good of a job in year 3. So, I mean, you never know with these QBs. Obviously, the hardest position to draft. Anyway, so that's the AFC North. Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, Browns. Next, we got probably the worst division. No, it will be the worst division in football. The AFC South. Okay? We have, again, the Texans. Listen, the Texans are going to be the division champs. Barring any big injuries, I feel like they should win that pretty easily. I know 3 divisions in a row, I'm saying that they should win easily. Here's the thing about the Ravens. I shouldn't say they're going to win easily because the Steelers, like I said, they do tend to win games that you don't think they're going to win. And Ravens, they could have. So I won't say the Ravens will win pretty easily. I think it will be clear they're going to win, but maybe not as easily as the Bills. Texans, I think they're going pretty easily. maybe easier than the Bills, but I don't think they're as good as the Bills. I don't know. Whatever. So yeah, the Texans are going to win the AFC South, and I think, I mean, last year they had three wide receivers out, two to injuries, one had cancer. He's good now, thank God. Um, but now Mechie, who the one who had cancer, he's good. He's playing for another team now. I can't remember who. I looked it up before. Um, but yeah, I think they got Nico Collins. They got, I can't remember who else they got at the top of my head, but I know they have pretty good wide receiver when I looked it up. I mean, from what I remember too. So, CJ Stroud, I think he's going to have a good year. You know, like I said, he didn't have much to work with last year, so having more weapons this year, better opportunities, I think they will do better. They might be back to the first year. Maybe not that good, maybe so. Who knows? But I do think they will definitely be better than last year. So honestly, I think these last three, I mean the rest of them, I guess, could go either way. You could make an argument for either of them being 2 or 3 or 4. So I'm just gonna go roll the dice here. I'm gonna go with the Jaguars at 2. Listen, I wasn't impressed with the Jaguars last year. Like I said, Trevor Lawrence has not been great, except for his second year. It was his best year. So I'm thinking maybe it's time for him to come back to that, be a little bit better than last year. And then I just think, I don't know. It's just these other two, like the Colts and Titans. I don't know. I don't trust them. The Jaguars are like, they could be good, they could be bad. You don't know. So I'm rolling the dice. I think they're going to be number 2. And then number 3, I have the Colts. The reason I have the Colts above the Titans is because they have a good defense. The reason I might have below the Jaguars is, again, because I feel like the Jaguars are going to have a decent year this year, and I think they're going to have around 8 to 9 wins. Whereas the Colts probably like 6, maybe 7. So yeah, the Colts defense still good. Obviously, they got Danny Dimes as QB now. Anthony Richardson, not playing, and yeah, the Colts are kind of in a rough spot right now. I mean, a lot of teams need QBs, but they drafted a QB in Anthony Richardson. It doesn't seem like he's working out. I don't know. I mean, it's probably him, but I also don't know if he would go somewhere else, if he'd be able to learn and develop better. Excuse me. Or if he's just not going to be able to ever be that guy. You know, I think he probably will get another chance with another team if the Colts let him go and if they draft another QB, which they probably will if they have a pretty good pick, which they probably will. So, yeah, Colts number 3. And the Titans, I have last, but still going to be an improvement. I think Cam Ward is going to be a pretty decent QB. I just think it's too soon for them to make a big jump yet. You know, I think they're still going to be they're still going to be meh at best, but I think Cam Ward could be that guy, and I feel like he's going to surprise a lot of people. And I think even if he doesn't have a great year this year, I think eventually he will become that guy that they can rely on. We will see. Obviously, we don't know, but yeah, 1 year I don't think is going to be enough for them to beat out the Colts. Just because I think their Colts defense is going to be the difference between the Titans and the Colts in that aspect. Anyway, so we got the AFC South. We got the Texans, the Jaguars, the Colts, and the Titans. Going on to the AFC West. Guys, will the Chiefs repeat as the AFC West champions? A lot of people are going to say no. But I'm going to say they are going to repeat. Here's why. Okay? 2 reasons. 1, we think that every year, or at least the past couple of years, we thought that they've still won. 2, I don't know about you guys, but I would not want to face a pissed off Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs team who just got handled by the Eagles in the Super Bowl. You know, I feel like they are. This is going to be like a. Can't think of what. Words are hard. I think this is going to be like a comeback, not a comeback, but like a revenge. That's what a revenge season for them, wanting to get back, and I think they're going to be like a great team. I think they're going to do a lot better. I think their offense is actually going to do way better. Like I said, Patrick Mahomes, that team is pissed. You know, Travis Kelce did just get married, so maybe he'll be a little bit distracted. But I think overall, this Chiefs team is going to be too good not to win. You know, yeah. So AFC East or AFC, as you noticed, picked all the same division winners. Listen, not big bold differences, but like I said, I can't put anybody else in front. I'll explain why more with AFC West, but yeah, as far as the whole AFC goes, I think all the division winners are going to be the same. So anyway, going on back to the AFC West. So the Chiefs, yes, I do not want to play them this year. I'm glad we don't have to play them this year. The only time we would have to play them is if the Rams got into the Super Bowl, which could happen. It could happen. But yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to be better offense. I think, the thing is, they won so many close games last year. Their record could have been like flip-flopped, what was it, like the Vikings 2 seasons ago? They won like the most one-score games or something. And they ended up being like, that's how, like, you flip those games, they would have been bad. So the Chiefs were like that. I don't think it's going to be. They might not have as good as a record-wise, but I think talent-wise and talent-wise, I think they're going to come back and they're going to be. They want revenge. They just lost the Super Bowl. I know they won 2 already. Well, 3 already. But 2 back-to-back. Back-to-back Super Bowls. Yeah, what I'm trying to say. But yes, I think the Chiefs are going to win the division. And until they lose, I'm probably going to keep picking them to win the division. So, going on number 2. This one was a tough one, but for opposite reason as the other 2 divisions I just recently did. The Chargers and the Broncos are both going to be good teams. Here's the thing, and I'm going to go all out on the Chargers, okay? This is the year that Justin Herbert needs to prove himself, He's got the weapons now. He's got the wide receivers. Jim Harbaugh is a great coach. We all know this. So yeah, they got it. They pretty much need to just put everything together and just win the game. There's no more. You can't use the excuse of, they don't have any wide receivers, because now they got wide receivers. So the Chargers, that's why I'm putting them number 2, because this is the year Justin Herbert and the wide receivers need to step up and make a move. And I think this is like, I don't want to say this is it, but like, if there was ever a year to dethrone the Chiefs, this could be it. Even though, like I just said, the Chiefs are going to be want revenge and they're pissed off, but the Chargers also, this is the best team they've had probably on paper they have in a while. So that's also a good chance. Gives them a good chance to beat the Chiefs. Anyway, yeah, going on to number 3. So yeah, Chiefs, then the Chargers. Going on to number 3, we have the Broncos. Now, the Broncos are going to be a good team as well. Like I said, though, Justin Herbert does what he's supposed to do. They're going to be a little bit better than the Broncos. Bo Nix is a great player. You know, I have him in one of my. Actually, I have Justin Herbert and Bo Nix, and one on my one roster in fantasy football. So yeah. Not that you guys part care, but so yeah, the Broncos. I mean, they did great last year. Bo Nix did great towards the end of the year, and they, I think, are gonna eventually become a great team. Like I said, I just don't think they're gonna quite beat the Chargers out. And then number 4, we got the Raiders. Now the Raiders just hired Pete Carroll, who did great with the Seahawks most of the time. When he first started, you know, he had Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was great, and then he went downhill. Seahawks eventually went downhill. He made that boneheaded decision to kind of pass the ball on the 1-yard line as opposed to running it with Marshawn Lynch. But besides that, he's a great coach. The Raiders, he's going to fit in with the Raiders, I think. It's funny because a lot of Seahawks players seem to be going to the Raiders, so the Las Vegas Seahawks is what I like to say. So yeah, Pete Carroll's going to end up turning that team around, but I don't think this year is going to be enough to beat out the top 3 teams. Like, I don't think they're going to need 1 or 2 more seasons to even be on the level of they are, just because there needs so much improvement. It's kind of like the Lions, you know. They did good the first year, wasn't quite able to make the playoffs. The second year, made the playoffs, did great. In the third year, yeah, which I think they just finished the third year. They lost the second round. So Raiders could do that pretty much same thing, similar, because Pete Carroll is, like I said, a great coach. So AFC West: Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, and Raiders. All right. Now I'm going to tell you who I think it's going to... Excuse me. Now I'm going to tell you the standings. I'm going to go in order of who I like of the rankings. So the number 1 seed in the AFC is going to be the Bills. I just think they didn't really lose too much. I don't think they really lost anybody at all, from what I remember. But they are good, great team. They're going to continue to be a great team. And even though the Chiefs have their number in the postseason, the Bills seem to have the Chiefs' number in the regular season. So I think going into the playoffs, the Bills, I think, are pretty good against the Ravens too. I know they beat them last year in the playoffs, but even before that, I think, I could be wrong, I don't know. But I just think the Bills are going to be the best team in the AFC going into the playoffs. So number 2, it's going to be the Chiefs. Like I said, guys, they are pissed. They want revenge. Okay, so I think they're going to be the 2 seed. I think they're going to do pretty well overall. Not quite as good of a record, but going to be a dominant team for sure. Number 3, we got the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, great. Had a great past 2. I mean, he's been playing great. I think he'll kind of slow down a little bit. Not slow down, but, like, not do quite as good as last year. But I don't know. He could do the same. But basically, it's because of the Chiefs are going to be a little bit better than the Ravens, even if the Ravens aren't stay the same. So yeah, Ravens are number 3. Number 4, we got the Texans. Yeah, obviously the last AFC South team. Like I said, I think the Texans are going to be pretty good, but those first 3 teams, 1, 2, and 3 seed, are just going to be great teams all around. And I think the Texans, even though I think they'll do great, I think they won't be as great as the Bills, Chiefs, and Ravens. So, yeah, there's that. Number 5, I got the Chargers because of Justin Herbert and those wide receivers. And they got to get it done this year. They have to, I feel like. This is their best shot in a while. So, do your thing. Number 6, the Broncos. Because I trust Bo Nix and I trust the Broncos to do good enough to make the playoffs. That's right. I think the AFC West is going to have 3 teams in the playoffs. And I think they're all going to be deserved. And we'll see how they all do. Number 7, like I said earlier, Mike Tomlin and the Steelers are going to make the playoffs. It's going to happen. We all know somehow, some way, he's going to figure it out, and they're going to be in the playoffs. But they'll lose the first round, obviously. So, yes. So, to recap, the order of the AFC playoff seedings is number 1 Chiefs, number 1 Bills, number 2 Chiefs, number 3 Ravens, number 4 Texans, number 5 Chargers, number 6 Broncos, and at number 7 we got the Squealers. Number 7 Steelers. So that's my AFC prediction. Let's move to the NFC. All right. So, so let's get into the NFC East. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but let me just tell you this right now. There has never been a repeat division NFC East winner in like the past 20 years. So with that being said, that trend or tradition or whatever is going to continue. I think at number 1 seed, or the division winner of the NFC East, is going to be the Commanders. Listen, they did have an easy schedule last year, but they're still a good team. Jaden Daniels is still a monster, still a good QB. And even though it seems like the Eagles should repeat, like I said, past 20 years or so, there hasn't been a repeat winner. Even when we thought a team should repeat or are going to repeat, they haven't. So, yes, I'm going with the Commanders at number 1. The Commanders are going to be a great team this season. So, number 2, the Eagles. Listen, the Eagles are still going to be a good team. I'm not disrespecting them. But I'm going with what has been going on. They're still going to make the playoffs. They're still probably, I mean, they're not going to be an easy team to beat. Trust me, as a Rams fan, I do not want to face them. But the NFC East hasn't had a repeat winner in the last 20 seasons. Okay, so yes, the Eagles are going to be number 2. Number 3, we got the Cowboys. The Cowboys who just traded away Micah Parsons for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark, I think his name is Kenny Clark, the defensive tackle they got from the Packers. Which we can argue who won the trade or whatnot, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to talk about the standings. So, the Cowboys, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with them. I think they're going to be better than the Giants. Not going to be as good as the Eagles and Commanders. Simple as that. Dak Prescott. See, Dak Prescott is still, I think, is a pretty good quarterback. I don't think he's as bad as everyone's saying. However, he's not like great QB who's going to like take this team to the next level. And as long as Jerry Jones is there, the Cowboys are never going to win a Super Bowl. I just believe that. We'll see what they do with these 2 picks. You know, even though they said the Packers are going to be pretty good and they're probably going to have like in the 20s, so it's not going to be an early first-round pick, but it's still 2 first-round picks 2 years in a row, unless they don't have one year of their own for some reason. So it's still, you never know. You could get somebody better. I mean, you could get somebody pretty good late in the first round. You know, they could be better than early first. You don't know. But yeah, so the Cowboys are going to be number 3. Number 4, the Giants. Last place in the NFC East of the Giants. Russell Wilson, he did pretty good last year for the Steelers, but didn't do that good. I mean, he didn't do great. I mean, he's not the person he's not the player he once was. He's actually not the person he once was either. He's gone insane, but that's besides the point. Yeah, listen, it is what it is. You know, he's gonna do what he's gonna do, but I don't think it's gonna be enough for the Giants at all to even. I mean, maybe they'll beat the Cowboys. I just don't trust them to even beat the Cowboys. So NFC East, we got the Commanders, the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Giants. On to the NFC North. This is going to be... What did I say? So this is going to be arguably the best division of football. This and the AFC West are going to be the top 2 divisions this upcoming season. Like I said, the Packers just got Micah Parsons, $188 million, $120 million guaranteed. Yeah. They took up a lot of cap space. Next year, they're going to be in trouble. As a Rams fan, I know what that's like. So, with that being said, number 1 seed in the NFC North is going to be the Lions still. I think they're going to have not a down year, but not as good of a year. Just Ragno retired, and they lost both of their coordinators. I just think it's going to be tough for them to be at the same level as they were the last 2 years. But they're still going to win the division. They're still going to be a great team, and they're still going to be contenders throughout the whole play to win the Super Bowl even. So, but who knows? Who knows? So going on to number 2, we got the Packers. Listen, this one was a little tough. Even now learning about the Micah Parsons trade, I still don't know how great the Packers are going to do. I think they're going to do better than the Vikings and Bears, though, all around. Their run defense, not that good. They just got rid of their defensive tackle, who did good last year. Now they have no run defense, and I know I just said that, but because they don't have any run defense. So I think Jordan Love is going to have a great season, a better season than last year. I think that they are going to be just all around a better team than last year. They're just, sometimes it's not your season, and I think that's what it was for the Packers. So they're going to be number 2. Number 3, I got the Vikings. Now, the reason I got the Vikings at number 3 is because Kevin O'Connell, I'm not saying J.J. McCarthy is not going to be good. He could be good. But even if he's not as good as people think he's going to be, Kevin O'Connell makes these QBs seem great. Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold. Kirk Cousins, not a starter anymore. Didn't do good with Atlanta. Sam Darnold, great year. He's with the Seahawks now. He didn't do good before, though. And he's probably not going to do as good as he did with the Vikings, with the Seahawks. So, I don't know what it is. He must just know how to work with QBs, know how to use them. I think J.J. McCarthy could be a great QB. Excuse me. I think J.J. McCarthy could be a good QB, but I'm just saying, even if for some reason he doesn't live up to that standard, we might not know because Kevin O'Connell is that good at making these QBs look good. They also have a Justin Jefferson, who was arguably the best. Excuse me. I'm good. So they have a Justin Jefferson, who is, I think he's the best wide receiver in the league. A lot of people think Jamar Chase too, but could be number 1. I mean, is what I meant. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So yes, Justin Jefferson, great wide receiver to have. Any QB would want him. So that's also plays a factor with the Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, and now maybe J.J. McCarthy. Okay, number 4, we got the Bears. Listen, like I said, this is probably going to be the best division. Now that I think even a little bit better than the AFC West, only because I don't think the Raiders are going to be as good as the Bears. But they could be. I don't know. They got Ben Johnson now as their head coach. Caleb Williams is still a question mark. I mean, he did pretty good last year. And as I just had a voice crack. But I just don't think they're there yet. I think like the Raiders, they're gonna, with the Ben Johnson coming in, I think they're gonna need a couple years, or 3, maybe 4, to even get back or to get to a playoff football team again, to be fighting for the division. But stranger things have happened. Who knows? They could come in first. But I think as of right now, I don't believe in the fact they'll be able to beat any of those 3 teams. Not that they won't be able to beat those 3 teams head to head. I think they could. I just think overall record-wise, playing other teams and everything, they won't perform as well overall as well as the other 3. So, yes, NFC North is going to be the Lions, Packers, Vikings, and then the Bears. Go Bears. And then you got the NFC South. Probably the second worst division in football. So, whew. Anyway, so, yes. NFC South is not going to be that good of a division. I think they'll be better than the AFC South, but but it's not that hard to do. Anyway, so NFC South. Listen, going with the Bucks. Listen, I wanted to pick the Falcons as one, but they've had a couple injuries at tackle position, and they've had, and who knows with Kyle Pitts. You never, I mean, there's a joke about don't draft Kyle Pitts in fantasy. He doesn't do that good. And then we got Michael Penix Jr. Penix. Yeah, with an X. Who is we don't know exactly how well he is gonna do. I mean, he's still up in the air with him. But I think overall, Bijan Robinson and I just think they're gonna be number 2 over the other last 2 teams in the NFC South. NFC South. That's what I said. Anyway, going on to number 3, we got the Panthers. The Panthers. Listen, Bryce Young, probably not the guy. But who knows? Yeah. You know what else I know? They're going to be better than the Saints. Because even though the Saints have Alvin Kamara, I still don't think that's going to be enough to be better than the Panthers. So yes, number 4 is the Saints. And like I said, Rattler, okay. I don't know about him. Don't think he's going to be a good QB. I think he's going to be average at best. Who knows? I keep saying that, but who knows? It's just like, does anybody know? So, yeah, no, the Saints, I think, are going to be last in that division. So, yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say about that. I mean, it's just Panthers are going to be slightly better than the Saints, slightly worse than the Falcons, and I think the Bucs are going to be repeat. I think they'll repeat that division. So, if NFC South goes Bucs, Falcons, Panthers, then the Saints. Who dat? Okay, on to the NFC West. Guys, here's the thing, okay? The Rams are going to win that division. Before I go further, yes, I picked 7 out of the 8 division champs from last year because I truly believe that's going to what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. Injuries could happen. Somebody could just, choke or something. Who knows? But I really think that there's going to be 7 out of the 8 division champs are going to be the same. I'm not doing that just to be biased. I really don't. But I really think, that's for the Rams at least. But I don't see other teams besides the Commanders beating the other previous division winners. That's all. And no, these are not bold takes, so you're right. Not a bold take. Anyway, NFC West, the Rams are going to win. I think overall they have the better roster. Yes, Matthew Stafford's back is not exactly the best, but he's played through injuries before. This has happened the past 2 or 3 years now, where he's had some sort of injury, a little bit of injury that caused him to miss 2 or 3 games, or even he hadn't even missed games. Maybe he just came in and played with it, and guess what? He plays pretty good. He's a pretty good QB even through those. So, I just think overall with Davante Adams, yes, they lost Cooper Kupp, but Davante Adams is a good replacement. Possibly better if he stays healthy. Hopefully he can stay healthy. I think last year he didn't. But yeah. So yeah, overall Rams have a better roster. I think they're going to win the division. I really do. Number 2, the Niners. listen, I'm not saying the Niners can't win the division. They still have a great team. They have CMC. Purdy, he's a good quarterback, but he's no Stafford. Okay? He's no Stafford. But I think they were hurt last year. They had a bunch of injured players. That's why they came in last. Especially I like to troll the 49ers. We'll give them a little, even though I was being made fun of when the Rams had a bunch of injuries. I'm not going to say that more about the Niners. They are going to be a pretty good team. Again, with George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey will be able to stay healthy. They haven't really been able to stay healthy that much through the career. Although Christian McCaffrey has been better since joining the Niners, he still has his problems with that. So, yes, I think the Niners, because I don't think their overall rush, they don't have really great wide receivers anymore. Deebo Samuel's out. And yeah, I just overall don't have as great of wide receivers, and I just don't think they will be able to stay healthy, if I'm being honest. Now, they won't be as bad as last year with the injuries, but I think it's going to... I have a feeling George Kittle and or Christian McCaffrey are going to somewhat get injured. Not that I wish that upon any team, but it just seems like it's bound to happen. Number 3, we got the Seahawks. Like I said, they got Sam Darnold. He's not going to be like he was last year, but he's also not going to be bad. Like, he's not going to be terrible. He's going to be good enough to lead this team to, enough victories to not come in last. I don't think the Seahawks have ever been last in the division. If they have, it's been like once. But they've always somehow managed to not be last. So, and I think that trend's going to continue. And then we got the Cardinals, who are just... The thing with the Cardinals is that Kyler Murray is not the guy, but you can't really... They haven't really been able to draft anybody to take his spot. And I think at this point they aren't going to try yet, just because of that contract that Murray has with them. So, and I also think, not to, again, I don't know, obviously, but I feel like his work ethic could be a little better. And no, I'm not just talking about the Call of Duty thing. I just feel like all around, it seems like sometimes he kind of gives up watching games. I don't know. Again, he probably, I'm not saying he does give up. He might try. He probably does try. But at that same time, if he is trying, then he's not doing a good job, So either way, it's not looking great for the Cardinals as of right now. Now, they got Marvin Harrison Jr., Maserati Marv, great wide receiver. They got James Conner, who is a good running back. I think he could be good this year. He could have a better year than last year, but I just think overall, maybe the Cardinals should start looking for another QB. Just saying. So, yeah, that's the NFC West. The Rams, Niners, Seahawks, Cardinals. Now going on to the standings of the seedings for the playoffs. Number 1, we got the Commanders. Like I said, the Eagles are going to be good. And I think the Commanders are going to have to be better than what the Eagles are going to do this season, obviously, in order to win. The Eagles, I think, aren't going to be quite as good, but they're still going to be up there, and I think the Commanders obviously have to be better. I think they will be better in order to win that. I just think they're probably going to be the best team in the NFC. Maybe a little too high on them, but that's what I think. Number 2, I got the Lions. once again, I think they're going to have a little bit of a down year. I'm not saying they're going to be bad. Obviously, they're the number 2 seed. They're still good. Still a great team. But I think number 2 is going to be the Lions. I think without those two coordinators, offense and defense, that they are going to be a little bit, and without Ragnar, I think they're going to be not quite as good. Number 3, the Rams. Okay? The Rams. Listen, the Rams, I wanted to put them at 2, but the biggest reason why I don't have them at number 2, because they always start off slow. They have the past couple years. Wouldn't be surprised if they do it this year. And I think because of that, it kind of hurts their chances of being the 2 or 1 seed. We'll see. We play 2 easy divisions. The NFC West plays the AFC South and the NFC South. So the 2 South teams, the 2 worst teams. We play the Texans week 1. Hopefully they win. Hopefully they win the first 2. And they play the Eagles week 3, which I don't expect them to win. But we'll see. And actually, I would like to point out that the Rams have a chance at the Bird Gauntlet this year. That's right. Obviously, they play the Cardinals and the Seahawks twice. They play the Ravens, they play the Falcons, and they play the Eagles. I think they're going to win 3 of those games. I think the teams are going to lose to are the Ravens and the Eagles. I think they're going to at least beat the Cardinals and Seahawks once, maybe sweep them both. And then the Falcons are kind of iffy, but I think they might be able to. I mean, roster-wise, they should be able to beat them. So I think they're going to be 3-2 with the Bird Gauntlet. Anyway, number 4, we have the Bucs. Again, they're going to win the division. Falcons aren't going to be as good as them. So, yeah, I got them at 4. I mean, they can't be anything else. Division winners are always 1 through 4. So, number 5, we got the Eagles. They probably will have a better record than the Bucs. And I know a lot of people are going to hate that. But that's how it works. Eagles aren't going to win the division. They're going to be the 5 seed. And, yeah. They're going to probably play the Bucs if that happens. They will play the Bucs if that happens. So, yeah. And then number 6, I got the Packers. Again, this is going to be a good year for the Packers. Run defense is going to be suspect, but I think overall the defense is good. Jordan Love's going to have a great year again, or another great year again after not having such a good year last year. So, yeah, I think Packers are 6. And then number 7, the Niners. I think they're going to squeak in there as the number 7 seed. I just think they are, even though they might have a couple injuries here and there, I think they're going to still be a pretty good team. Overall, I think they're going to be in a playoff team. So, NFC playoff seedings are number 1, Commanders. Number 2, Lions. Number 3, Rams. Number 4, Bucs. Number 5, Eagles. Number 6, Packers. And number 7, the 49ers. So that is my predictions. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry about the coughing and the not be able to say words apparently. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, these are just predictions. We don't know what's going to happen. If I'm didn't put your team in the playoffs, or if I put your team too low to seeding, don't get all mad. No, these are just my predictions. And, nothing against any team personally. I'm just I'm going for what I think. And I think, obviously, these are going to happen. I really do. So, thanks for watching. And have a great day or night, or whenever you watch this. Thanks. Bye.